Everybody, welcome to the story listening session, and today's story is God's Food by Grimm, rewritten by Benica Mason for story listening. Let's start. A long time ago, many years ago, just let it be like 300 years ago, like that, like 300 years ago. It's quite a time, long time ago. There was a woman. There was a woman. I don't like what I made. There was a woman and she was sad. Alright. And she was sad. Like that. Woman and she was sad. Her husband has died 6 months ago. 6 months ago. Her husband died 6 months ago. Right? 6? Yeah. Right? So her husband died 6 months ago. So she became a widow. So her husband died, so she became a widow. That's the title. So that's the way women called who lost their husbands due to death. So she lost her husband died. That's why she became a widow. She was a wife and now she's a widow. They had 5 children. They had 5 children, so there were like 5 kids. 5 of them. 3, 4, and 5. Okay, there are 5 kids. You can see them. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They had 5 kids. The oldest one, the oldest, with the most years, the highest score in years, he was born first. The first one, the oldest one, was 8 years old. So the oldest one was 8 years old. 8, like this. You got 5 and 3. 8 years old. Okay. The next one was 6 years old. Like that. 6 years old. The third one was 4. The third one was 4. And the fourth one was 2. And the youngest one, the fifth, was only 1 month old, just 1 month. You can see, that's kind of him. So we got the oldest 8, next one is 6, and this one, the third, is 4, and the fourth one is 2, and the smallest, the youngest one, just 1 month, just not even a year, 1 month, like October or November, just 1 month, 30 days in general. It was really small kid. Well, that was quite a big family. The woman, she was sad because she was so poor, no money, poor. She was poor. poor. She was poor, no money. She was poor, like that. Or no money, no money. And that she could not buy the food. She was not able to go to the shop and pay for the food just to eat. The children were always hungry, so every day they had not enough food. They were hungry, they wanted to eat, but they had no food because they had no money. Mother had no money, or just not enough money to buy food and give it to her children to eat. So kids had no food to eat, so they were hungry all the time. Sometimes means not every day, but let it be 2 days per week, just on Monday and Thursday or Friday, they didn't eat anything all day. No food for whole day, just from the start till the end, no food, completely no food. Hunger is starvation, just they were hungry, they had no food for whole day. Sometimes they suffered it was something that makes you suffer, that what makes you feel bad, just you can suffer from, you can suffer from, yeah. They suffered the greatest hunger. They suffered. Yeah, it was really bad. They suffered. Just to feel bad and really bad, not just make it in your mind, but it's just really bad, obviously bad, for some big serious reason that you feel bad, like a hunger, you want to eat and you don't have food, that makes you suffer, suffering, or you lost someone you love, and it's a suffering, it's not just, it's so much pain, there's a lot of pain, physical, emotional, psychology, something like that. It's suffering. And the woman, she had older sister, older, with more years behind. Her older sister was rich, a lot of money, rich. Her sister, she lived in a big house. Big house. Be like 2-story building. Big house her sister lived in. The sister lived in a big house because her husband, the man she married to, her husband, was a rich man with a lot of money. Rich man. So bags with cash, for example, rich, a lot of cash, a lot of money. The younger sister needed help because she had no money, no food, and a lot of children, five children, 5 kids. And her sister had no children. So the younger sister needed help. Her children were starving. They had no food for a long time. They were starving. They didn't have food for a long time. They were starving, to starve. Because if you have no food for 2 hours, it is not starving. But if you have no food for 2 days, or just maybe even one day without food. It's a starving, like you have no food for a long time. That is starving. That's terrible. I hope nobody would feel that, but unfortunately. She, the mother, was afraid that her children would die from hunger because she could not give them food to eat. She didn't want to beg for help. She didn't want. But she needed to go to her older sister to ask for help. Please help me. Her children were suffering a lot of pain, a lot of discomfort, really painful. The greatest hunger, the biggest one, the biggest hunger. So this woman, the mother, she went to her sister's house. She went to her sister's house. So the woman, the mother, she went to her sister's big house because they were rich and they had a big house to live in. Alright. So she went to her sister's house and she knocked the door. The door opened. Her older sister stood there and looked angry. Her older sister opened the door and looked angry. Like that, for example. Where is it? Here you are. She was angry, like that. Not really friendly, angry. What do you want? Why did you come here? And she said, what do you want? She looked unfriendly. The younger sister, the mother, said, you know that my husband died 6 months ago, don't you? That was like, you know that she knows, and you ask her, like, you know that something happened, don't you? It's like the way you ask these questions. The older sister said that she knew that her husband died. The younger sister said, I am a widow, and have very little money. My children are suffering a great hunger. You are rich, a lot of money. Please give us a loaf of bread. What we already started. It's like this big piece of bread, just 1 unit of bread. A loaf of bread. Like that. A loaf of bread. The rich sister was not kind. She was not polite. She was not friendly. She was not kind. And said, you are dirty. You stink, smell bad. And you are lazy. Means like she didn't like to work. She blamed her. You are dirty. You stink. You are lazy. She was not nice. Those were the bad words, insulting words. She said, I have nothing in my house to give you. Go home, go away. Her heart was as hard as stone, just like a stone, like masonry, like stone. Her heart. She was so angry that her heart was like a stone, like the walls made of, like a stone. Alright, she drove the poor younger sister away with harsh words. So those words, like you dirty, you stink, those were the harsh words. Harsh. That's not nice, but words that give someone pain. Words that insult. The harsh words. Harsh words. After young sister left, the husband of the rich sister, older, came home. As maybe he was from work somewhere. Oh, he has a give me a sec. So the rich husband came back home. He was hungry. His wife said, "I baked 2 loaves of bread this morning, and there are 2 loaves of bread on the kitchen table. Let's go and eat some bread." So she baked. When you cook something like bread, it's called baked, to bake something. So she baked 2 loaves of bread. Two loaves of bread. And they were at the kitchen. There was a table with 2 loaves of bread. So there was a table in the kitchen, and there were 2 loaves of bread that she, the older sister, that she baked that morning. But when the husband made the first cut, so husband took a knife and made the first cut. So he started to cut the bread, and when he made the first cut into a bread, out flowed red blood. So the blood came. So out of the loaf of bread there came blood. There was a blood outside, just like from human being. Blood. So there was a blood from that loaf of bread. When his wife saw the blood, she was terrified and told her husband that she lied, told not true. When you say not true, you lie. So she told a lie. She lied to her poor, no money, young, smaller, less years sister. and driven her away that morning. Made her go away. Driven her away that morning when her sister wanted a loaf of bread for her, starving, without food for a long time, starving children. The husband, he hurried really fast, he wanted fast, hurried to help the widow with a loaf of bread. So he took a loaf of bread and went to the house of the widow, to the small house. So he wanted to help her. So there was a big... Alright. The husband, the rich husband from the big house, he took the loaf of bread and hurried to the widow's house, like really fast. He ran maybe. When he came home to her house, when the rich husband came to the house of the widow with a lot of kids, he knocked on the door, but there was no answer. He took a doorknob and turned it. When you have a door and a knob. So there is a doorknob. So we got a door and he used the doorknob to open it. So he knocked at the door, nobody answered. After that, he grabbed the doorknob and he turned it up and opened the door. So he opened the door. He entered the house, so he got in the house, inside, and found the widow sitting on a chair. So the lady, the mother, she was sitting in the chair and holding two little babies. There is the mother. She's sitting in a chair and holding two babies. So the rich husband, he found the widow and she was sitting on a chair and holding two little children. And she was praying to God. She was praying. She was asking God for help. The three older children were already dead on the floor. It's a really sad story. It's really sad. So, three older children were on the floor and they were dead already because they were starving. They had no food for a long time. The husband of the older sister, he offered her the bread, but she answered, "No, thank you. We no longer need your food. I prayed to God, and God answered my prayers, and has already taken three of my children to heaven." Something like that. So, she said that God answered my prayers and has already taken, so like souls of them, taken three of my children to heaven. So the God took them to heaven. As soon as she said these words, so she said these words, and just at the moment when she finished, the two little kids, drew their last breath. They just died, drew their last breath. When she saw that two more children died, her heart broke. Just let me. Her heart broke. She saw two last kids dead, and her heart broke. She fell down from to the floor and died. So she fell down on the floor and died. So she was in a chair and she fell down on the floor and died as well. And that's the end of the story. That's a really sad one, but our purpose is to acquire the language. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.